Hello everybody and welcome back. I have some amazing budget-friendly plant-based recipes for you today. So if you enjoy budget-friendly cooking, I've always said that you need to enjoy your beans, which means adding some wonderful flavors. And if you're omitting the meat and dairy, typically you can afford to buy some better spices. So I'm going to show you some recipes that I really enjoy. All right, let's get cooking. We are starting off with meatless baked beans. So I'm taking 1 onion and dicing it up, 2 garlics, and 4 small carrots, dicing them up into small pieces. Then I'm going to get them into my pan with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to saute them down until they're soft and just about caramelized. In my slow cooker, I'm going to take 3 cans of pinto beans. I'm using cans because today is one of those days where I don't have the time to take dried beans and soak them and cook them. So those cans are going into my slow cooker along with 1 can of tomato sauce, 3 tablespoons of mustard, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, which I missed getting a video of, but it is in there. To that, I am adding 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and then 1/3 cup of maple syrup, and 1/3 cup of brown sugar. You then add salt to taste. And then once my carrots, onions, and garlic are fried up nicely, I put them into my slow cooker and mix everything around. Then I put my slow cooker on low and I leave it for 3 hours. Canned baked beans have nothing on this recipe. It was so aromatic and so delicious. They were very sweet but savory along with those caramelized onions. It was so incredibly tasty. Definitely one to add to the weekly routine. The next recipe I am making is a newer recipe for me, but it is one that I absolutely adore. Indian cooking has a lot of the really delicious plant-based cooking, which is also very budget-friendly. So I decided to take a little foray into the Indian cuisine and try a curry. So this is a lentil curry. I took 1 onion and 4 to 5 garlic cloves and chopped them up. Then I get them into my pot with about a tablespoon of coconut oil. You can use regular oil if you don't have coconut oil. I also add 2 teaspoons of ginger, half teaspoon of turmeric, half teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, 2 teaspoons of curry powder, and stir it all together so the flavors combine. To that, I add 1 cup. You can use crushed tomatoes. I didn't have any crushed tomatoes, so I just used 1 can of tomato sauce. Then I added 1 can of coconut milk. Again, if you don't have coconut milk, you can just use a cup of regular milk. Then I added in 3 cups of lentils, dried lentils, and added 3 cups of vegetable broth. I let it simmer for about a half an hour until everything was well cooked. I made sure those lentils were really well cooked. It was an amazing, delicious dish, one I'm definitely adding to the weekly list. Our last dish here is a roasted chickpea sheet pan meal with a balsamic vinegar and maple glaze. So I have taken 4 small sweet potatoes, a bunch of Brussels sprouts, and 1 onion and chopped them all up into about equal sizes. I add them all to a sheet pan and make sure they're distributed evenly. Then I take one of my jarred chickpeas and add it to the sheet pan. I do not drain my chickpeas as the aquafaba will act like an oil on the vegetables. Now to make the vinegar maple glaze, I'm adding 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I take 1 tablespoon of maple syrup and make sure I spill that absolutely everywhere. Maple syrup's like gold, so you don't want to waste that. Then I take 1 teaspoon of garlic and I mix it all up until it's properly combined. After that, I just spread it over my chickpea and vegetable mixture. Once I have that evenly over everything, I'm just going to take a spoon and combine it all. Once it's combined, I'm going to put it in my oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and I leave it in there for about a half an hour until the vegetables and the potatoes are fully cooked. About halfway through, you can give everything a turn just to make sure it cooks evenly. And then once it's done, you're just going to want to plate it all up. This was delicious. I absolutely adore that maple vinaigrette glaze. It made the potatoes caramelize beautifully, if you can see here. It left just this wonderful texture on the potatoes and the chickpeas and everything, and it was just so delicious. So I hope this is one that you guys enjoy. All right, I hope you guys really enjoy making those meals. If you are looking for more budget-friendly cooking, I have an entire playlist full of some wonderful ideas and extreme budget challenges. I will link it here. Make sure you check that out. I will see you guys next time. Make sure you head over to my budget meal playlist and check out all of these videos full of budget meal ideas. And if you are interested in our build of our off-grid cabin, please make sure you go over to Gross Ridge Off-Grid. I'll link the channel in the description box.